Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel IAS Commando. So places in news, the topic is very important and it has a vast coverage area. So we will continue with the topic and see what all places were in news, especially in January 2023. Alright, so let's start it. So, a place in Ukraine was bombed very heavily in the Donetsk province, and the place is Soledar or Soledar, whatever you call it, Soledar. All right. So, this place was bombed very heavily, and Russia told that it captured it, but Ukraine told that it still has control over the province. So that was the reason why this place was in news. Also, see the countries neighboring Ukraine. All right. So Belarus is the neighboring Ukraine. This Poland is neighboring Ukraine. Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Moldova. All right. So these are all the countries that are bordering the Ukraine and Russia also. Let's move on to the next place. So this in the country of Chile, there are anti-government protests going on, and if you remember last year, lot of questions were asked in the countries where there were unrest. All right, so in Chile, the country in South America, South American country, protests were going on in Cusco. Cusco is a place near Machu Picchu, and Machu Picchu is a famous archaeological site. All right. So protests were going on in this province. All right. So in this city. So do remember this. Let's move on to the next. So I did find an article on Title 42. So Title 42 was the policy that US used to turn away migrants at its border during the COVID, and then now this policy has been stopped. So it did prevent migration into the US. All right. So this was in news. Sitwe port that is in Myanmar's Rakhine province was in news. All right. So this is the Sitwe port that is in Myanmar, Rakhine province. All right. So do remember these two places. This is the Rakhine province, and that was the Sitwe port. Let's move on. So this in Italy there is a Emilia Romagna region. All right, and this region was in news because of floods and landslides. So a lot of torrential rain was there in this region, and because of that, Italy's Emilia Romagna region was in news. All right, so let's see where this is. So you can see this is the region with in Italy, which is known as Emilia Romagna. All right, let's move on. Now see, there is in a border area a city known as Pishin. All right. So Google does sometimes give false information also. So in the newspaper, it was written Pishin is at the border of Pakistan and Iran. All right. So let's see where the patient actually is. So it is showing at the Pakistan and Afghanistan border. But if you Google it, so we will find Pishin province somewhere here. All right. So let's move on. And this place in Colombia known as Araraquara. All right. So this was in news because of a plane crash. All right. So in Colombia, this place was in news, but it's not that important. But it was in news, so I am telling you. Also, you need to see the location of these countries. All right. So there is Ecuador, and from this country equator passes. There is Colombia, whose capital is Bogota. There is Venezuela. There is Guyana. All right, and there is Peru, and this is obviously Brazil. All right. So do remember. Let's see more locations. All right. So see Jamaica. All right. So this island is the Jamaica island. All right. Sorry. Let me. Yes. So this island is a Jamaican island, and in this Jamaican island, there's a Kingston port in Jamaica. So it was in news. Also there is a Cayman Island. All right, Cayman Island you must have heard a lot because it is a tax haven. All right, and then there is Bahamas. There is Turk and Caicos Islands. There is Haiti. There is Puerto Rico. All right, so these are the places. And then see an Australian island known as Macquarie Island. So these islands were also in use. Macquarie Island, you can see Macquarie or Macquarie. So this is a very far off island from Australia also. So you can see there is a Tasmanian landmass, and there is this. All right. Let's see more locations. So patient, I was telling you that Google sometimes gives wrong information. So I searched it more. So I got this patient city is a border city in Iran and Pakistan. It is a border city in Iran and Pakistan. So leaders of both the nation met here. All right. So this was in news. And now see, in Pakistan we have Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. All right. So Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, sometimes location from Pakistan were asked. For example, Swat Valley. It was asked about Swat Valley. So a few years back, Swat Valley was very popular because American drone attacks used to be carried out there. All right. So in that line, this Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province is also very important. And see, there is an island known as Voodoo Island. So, as you know, Voodoo Island or Hodo Island. All right. So, this island is somewhere here also. So, as you know, South Korea is a very advanced and capitalistic country with a high per capita income. But then there is an island in South Korea where people are very old, and there are no medical services, and whatever medical services are there, they only reach once a month. So that island is without doctor. All right. So it was in news that Voodoo Island or Hodo Island is without any medical professional. So that island belongs to South Korea in the Yellow Sea. Then see Ramstein Air Base. All right, Ramstein Air Base is famous and it is in Germany. All right, Ramstein Air Base is in Germany. Why? Because it is the headquarter of the United States Air Force in Europe. All right. So this is in news, and this is an important base. All right, because the war in Ukraine is going on. So because of that, whatever strategies build up is built up from here. All right. And now see, Peru's capital is Lima. So you must have already heard Lima because there were conference of parties conference held in Lima related to climate change. But I already told you about that Chile also protests were going on, and in Peru also protests are going on. So this was in news in January. All right. And let's see about Serbia and Kosovo. So this region, that is Serbia, Kosovo, and this region. So earlier it was Yugoslavia here, and then it uh, broke up into many countries. All right. So this Serbia, Kosovo. So you need to know the locations of Serbia and Kosovo. All right. So see, there is a Greece. All right, and north of Greece there is Albania, and there is North Macedonia. There is Bulgaria. All right. There is Kosovo. There is Serbia. All right. So these are the countries, and there is Croatia. There is Slovenia. So you need to remember these countries. All right. And see, in Somalia, over 100 people were killed. All right. So this Al Shabaab terrorist group is very famous because of it carries regular attacks in Somalia. All right. So because of that, it is always in news. So they carried out their attacks in a province called Galgudud. All right, Galgudud, whatever it is. So pardon me for my pronunciation. All right. So this province is here. All right. This Galgudud province is in central Somalia, with its administrative capital as Dusmareb. All right. So, and let's see some more locations. So there is Mombasa. All right, Mombasa is very famous. All right, in our underworld stories in India, and in Tanzania you see Dar es Salaam. All right, so this is also a port. So Mombasa and Dar es Salaam ports. These are very famous ports. Mombasa was especially famous. All right, you must have seen in very Bollywood movies. Now, see, a Hindu temple, there was a burglary in Texas, but this is not so important. But it was Brazos Valley. All right, so Brazos Valley, if it asks, so don't mark it in Brazil. It is in Texas, in America. All right, so let's move on. And then see this Abuja city is in Nigeria. So this was also in news because I think census are going on in Nigeria, and because there are too many ethnic people there of different groups, so census becomes a big news there. So Abuja, Nigeria, do remember, and information from this region was asked last year. All right, so do remember this fact. Then there is a Catalonia province, and Catalonia, I think last year also it was asked. So Catalonia is a province in which there is a secessionist movement going on against Spain. All right, and this Barcelona, which is a very famous city there, also is in Catalonia. There is Costa Brava, so you must have heard these places in that movie of a Hrithik Roshan, I think. जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा. So Catalonia, uh, it's a good place, but there is a secessionist movement going on, as well as there is Pyrenees mountains there. All right, so this is famous for that. And see, Yanomami. Yanomami is a tribe, all right. So it is an indigenous tribe that lives in Brazil. So it is the largest native group in Brazil. And see, what is important is that with a population of around 30,000, they live in an area larger than 9 million hectares. All right, in the northern area of the Amazon forest, close to the border of Venezuela. So this is you see this region that is shown in uh, dotted area. So this is Yanomami's indigenous territory. All right, so it borders Venezuela. So do keep in mind this. Let's see more. And Pokhara is a place in Nepal. All right, so Pokhara, it might seem close to Pokhran in India, where nuclear tests were held, but Pokhara is a place in Nepal. All right, and why it was in news? Because a plane crash happened there, and some Indians also died there, passed away. So that was in news. Malawi was in news. So Malawi was in news. Why? Because in Malawi, 2021, cholera was totally wiped out. All right, only one or two cases were found, and then 900 deaths happened last year in 2022 in Malawi because of cholera. All right, so you can see how deprived these regions are. All right. So do remember Malawi. So see, you can see Malawi is sandwiched between so many countries. There is Mozambique, there is Zimbabwe, there is Zambia, there is Tanzania. All right. So these countries are sandwiching Malawi, and it is a land locked, but there is a lake there. All right. So do remember Malawi, and let's see more. And then do remember Solomon Islands. Why? Because Solomon Island is now a strategic place. All right. So China is trying to build some infrastructure there so that that country can get indebted to China. And because of that, there is a resentment building on there. So Solomon Island were also in news. So you can see this is New Guinea. All right. This is Australia, and here we have Solomon Islands. All right. So when Chinese are trying to build infrastructure here, so Australia, because of that, Australia is also getting concerned, and that's why there's a push towards Quad. All right. So these are the reasons to remember this place also, Solomon Island. Let's move on. And there's a Canary Island. All right. So you see, you can see off the coast of Africa here. Off the coast of Africa, we see Canary Island. Alright, so this Canary Island is a Spanish archipelago off the coast of northwestern Africa. Alright, and these are rugged volcanic islands known for their black and white beach. Alright, and so this Canary Island and this is also one of the tax havens. Alright, Cayman Island was also there, but this is a Spanish archipelago, and now I'll show you how far this is from Spain. Alright, so you can see Spain is here, the islands are here, but still it is governed by Spain and not by these countries. Alright, so must have been acquired during their colonial phase. Uh, Now we are going to see some of the provinces of Turkey, places of Turkey. We are seeing them because they were in news because of the earthquake. All right. So in Greece's Rhode Island. So this is the Rhode Island, and this belongs to Greek. All right, Greece. So this Rhode Island had earthquake, and because of that, these places also there were earthquakes. All right. So this is Izmir. This is Antalya. All right, this is Bursa. Do remember these places, Ankara. All right, and Istanbul. All right. So these are the places that were in news due to the earthquake: Izmir, Bursa, Istanbul, Ankara, and Antalya. And let's see some more place. There is one more place. All right. So wait a minute. Yes. Okay. So UAE presidents arrived in Pak. So everybody is giving aid to Pakistan nowadays, but the places in Pakistan, they are important. All right. So this Rahim Yar Khan, this place belongs to Pakistan. All right. So this is in the Punjab province of the Pakistan. Now, why I'm telling you these places? Why? Because these places can be anywhere. All right, and places belonging to especially Middle East and West Asia's are asked. But see, because they have Arabic names, all right. So you might get confused between the countries where it is there. So that's why I'm telling you places from Pakistan also. So this Rahim Yar Khan, this place is on the Pakistan India border. Sorry, not Pakistan India border, but in the Punjab province of the Pakistan. All right. So do remember this place. All right. So let's move on to the next place. So Bosnia was in news. Why? Because one of our very famous industrialist brother, Lakshmi Mittal brothers, was charged with with organized crime here. All right. So because of that, Bosnia was in news. So we need to see the location. All right. So you know this is Croatia. This is Montenegro. We have Belarus. All right. So these we have seen Eastern Europe. Their balkanization happened. We have seen them many times. All right. Now see this Mapuche tribe of Chile. All right. This Mapuche of Chile. So struggle for territorial rights and justice is going on. So you can see Chile is a very long country, so latitude wise it is very lengthy country. All right. So do remember this tribe, Mapuche tribe, and its struggle for territorial rights and justice is going on. All right. Now see, Guatemala was in news. You can see this is a very small strip, and then we have Mexico, we have Guatemala, we have Honduras also here, we have Nicaragua. All right. So these places are also in news. So do see their sequence. All right, which countries border Mexico and what's here. So you can see there is a Caribbean Sea here, there's Gulf Mexico here. And see, this city was also in news, Al Ram. So this West Bank and this Gaza Strip are to be the places where Palestinians have to live, but there are settlements of Jews in the West Bank. So when there are increasingly settlements of the Jews here, so because of that there is regular conflict, and so some places become important. So Al Ram is a place inside the West Bank, and you can see Haifa is also in Israel. Tel Aviv is Israel's capital. All right, Jerusalem is also a very famous place. It's the birth of Jesus Christ. All right, Beersheba is there. So do keep these places in mind while studying. Let's see. So Libya was in news, all right. So look at the location of the Libya. It borders with the Mediterranean Sea. Now Libya's capital is Tripoli, all right, and Libya is now in news because of what? Because of increasingly countries are trying to shun oil imports from Russia, all right, and you can see Europe is dependent on oil imports from Russia, but because there is a direct access here, so these countries, if they are producing good amount of oil, all right, these countries, if they are producing good amount of oil, it's very beneficial for Europe, so that they cannot depend on Russia. All right, so Libya is in news nowadays. All right, so do remember. Let's move on. Quetta is a province. Quetta is a place in Pakistan. All right. So these places are important because they do keep recurring. All right, in news. And you can see this last Bela is in Balochistan, is a coastal district in Balochistan. So it is also known as Sassipurnu Gad. All right. So now this name Gad is there, so it might appear to be Indian place. All right. So but don't mark that as an Indian. So this last Bela is a Balochistan, is in the Balochistan province of Pakistan. All right, and it is also a coastal district. And now you see Kohat. So what is Kohat? Kohat is a district in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. All right. So what is important about Kohat is that it is regarded as the center of Bangash tribe of Pashtuns. All right. So this is a very tribal region. There is a FATA, federally administered tribal area also here. So because of that, these places have become important. So do remember these places. Now let's move on. Now, see this city, Isfahan. So, this place is in Iran. So, this place can be asked. There is a high probability. Isfahan, Isfahan. All right. Why? Because you see, there was a factory here, and it was bombed by by drones. All right, and the drones came from where? Obviously, Israel. So this place was bombed through drones. So see, now air attack is becoming too fragile and too easy to carry out. All right, now Peshawar, I think everybody knows it is in Pakistan, and there is a Sichuan province in China. So provinces of China were in news in January. Why? Because of the spread of the COVID. So this was one of the epicenter. And now see, the Sichuan province is there, and uh, you see this province. It contains the stretch of Asia's longest river, the Yangtze River. All right, and the region is home to giant pandas also. So this was in news. So this was all the places that were in news in January, and we will continue this series more. All right. So keep preparing, be cool, and all the best to all the UPSC aspirants. And do like, subscribe, and share my channel. Thank you so much.